Well, this is my 2024 Dodge Durango RT 5.7. It's now cold because it's been sitting outside for a couple of days. And tomorrow we're going to a muffler shop to get rid of the front resonator that some people call mid-muffler and put in a H pipe. I decided for an H pipe because people say it provides a deeper tone and actually it improves torque at lower RPM, and that's what I want. I don't need horsepower at like 6,000 RPM. I need torque because that's what gives you a nice, seat of pants feel. So let's see how it sounds. So this is factory, right? It actually sounds pretty good when it's cold. The problem is that once the engine gets warm, that exhaust note totally disappears. Okay. And I don't want it to be crazy loud, but I just want to improve it a little bit. So these are the two mufflers we have in the back. This one, they're not very big, they're pretty small, and the same on the other side there. You see? They look big in the picture, but actually they're pretty small. And it's a true dual exhaust because we have this thing in here. So it's true dual, but it has this huge resonator, or some people call it mid-muffler, and it's in the middle of the car. But from the engine we have two pipes on each side of the block. So it's true dual exhaust. And so what we're doing is we're going to remove this, and where the pipes are closest we're going to put an H pipe. And that should improve the sound and torque. And this is the driver's side. Yeah, you see? And I'm not gonna touch the cats. I want the vehicle to be legal. I just want to get rid of this thing. And like I said, put in an H pipe. And you see now when it's warm, that's it. The sound disappears. So that's totally unacceptable. And we're gonna fix that tomorrow. So today's the day, the big day for my Durango. I got up at 5 o'clock. And drove 25 kilometers to Calgary Muffler near Chinook Center because these guys did work on my Compass when I was getting rid of the mufflers in the back. Not sure if that was a good idea, but they did a amazing job because the pipes in the back, and they put like a Y in there because Compass just has a single exhaust from the engine, and then in the back it splits into two, so it's kind of like a fake dual exhaust. But they did that pipe with a Y. When they removed the mufflers, it looked like factory. Like somebody even left a comment on my channel saying, "Hey, where did you do this?" And so these guys are expensive. Like some people say, "Hey, muffler delete, it's $100." Forget it. Over here it's 500. But it's not just the muffler. What I'm doing, like I mentioned, right? I'm removing the. It's not actually a muffler. It's a resonator, but mid-muffler or suitcase. Most people call it suitcase. And when I talked to them on the phone, they said, "Okay, so you want the suitcase gone, and an H pipe or X pipe? I said, no, H pipe, because I like the old school sound better, and it's deeper and more torque. And he says, and you want to leave the rear mufflers? I said, yeah, because otherwise it'll be too crazy, you know, loud. And so I got up at 5, drove down there. I was there probably like 5:35. Parked the car, put the key inside my magnetic box that I use for rentals. Hit it on the car, and then called Lyft. And a guy showed up 2 minutes later. I guess he lives somewhere nearby. And his first name was Alexander. And so I stopped talking Russian to him, you know. And he's like, excuse me? He says, I speak Spanish. Turns out his first language is Spanish. And he said he does it full time because his English is not very good. He just came to Canada like last year. So basically, he's been here like 8 months only. And so his English is, so I gave him a couple of tips. And I said, hey, I also do Uber and Lyft. So we exchanged some, well, mostly I was talking, he was listening. And so Lyft charged me $27. It was about 25 kilometers from Calgary Muffler to my work near the airport. And it was still too early to go to work, so I asked him to drop me off at the coffee shop nearby. And I got a coffee and spent some 15-20 minutes there. And then I walked 15 minutes to work. And I'm coming back now in my Freightliner, actually, from the Chinook Mall, which is interesting because they send me.
Take exit 268 onto Country Hills Boulevard.
Yeah, they sent me to pick up this RT, rough terrain scissor lift. I dropped off there yesterday, and Calgary Muffler is like 2 minutes away from Chinook Mall, you know. And so I picked up the machine, and I look on Google Maps. Yeah, it's like 500 meters. And so I sent a message to my boss and said, I'm taking a break. And so I went there, I paid, and Durango was just going on the hoist. I paid the bill because I said, guys, I'm not sure if it's gonna, if I'm short on my visa, you know, then I would have to use my debit card, and I don't think debit would work over the phone, right? Because when I called them in the morning and told them where the key was hidden and explained to them what I want them to do, I said, call me when you're done and I'll pay you over the phone. But then I remember it was, I had like exactly $500 available, and he said this will cost $550. So I was afraid that the visa might get declined. And so I stopped there with my truck, I ran inside, paid the bill, and then I found a coffee shop nearby. I mean, there was a shawarma place in Jerusalem, just 2 minutes away. So I stopped there, and I see the sign that says open is not lit. It's not lit up, right? Which is not good. So I go on Google Maps, I check the time when they open, it says 11. And that's no good because my break was till 5 to 11, because I took 30 minutes from 10:25 to 10:55, right? And I look around, I see this place called Keith Deli, and it looks a bit kind of like funny, like very old. Some pictures inside, you know. So I go, and it's open. The sign says open. So I go inside. They are open, they have all kinds of sandwiches, and we started chatting. Turns out it's a very old place. They've been there like for 25 years. And even the menu is like old boards from Pepsi Cola and Coke, you know, like old school boards you would see on the walls of a gas station. And even like you can tell that the typeface is old, you know. And so she says, yeah, we've been here 25 years, and before that we were inside the Chinook Mall, and then they moved to this plaza. And so I said, okay, I'll get a sandwich, just no cheese, okay? And she says, yeah, we can make any sandwich without cheese. She says, you want to try our special pork sandwich? And she shows me a tray, and the tray has pork sausage, like smoked, you know, like, or grilled, I don't know. And I said, how do you do a sandwich with this? You just put it inside the bun like a hot dog, but it's bigger, it's like pretty thick, you know. She says, no, we cut it up, and then we put it on this bun here. And it's kind of like a Subway bun, only smaller. And so yeah, it was pretty good. It was the sandwich with a drink, Diet Coke, was, I think it was like 12 bucks. I gave him a tip and I left him a good review on Google. So if you ever near Chinook Mall, guys, so check it out. Keith Deli, across the road from Chinook Mall. Very interesting place. Like, you know, the atmosphere inside is like, I don't know, 1970s, you know, pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, I'll be driving whatever till they tell me to, 4:35, and then I'll just take Lyft again down there to Calgary Muffler, and we'll do a recording of, you know, cold start, and I'll show you guys what they did underneath. I'm pretty sure it's gonna look awesome. And then I haven't driven Durango for a while, so I think once I'm there, it's a very good area for Uber, because lots of restaurants, lots of stores in there near the Chinook Mall. I'm gonna turn on Uber and see what happens. See if I can make a couple of bucks to compensate me for this repair. So, and on another note, regarding the Jeep Compass, I complained to the insurance company that they canceled my appointment, and they're not telling me when the next appointment will be. And so the guy called me back, and I was asking him, I said, can you waive that deposit? Because I know on your app, the fine print says this deposit can be waived. It's up to the discretion of the insurance company. And this guy says no, because it's hail damage, we cannot waive the deposit. You will have to pay, when your car is done, you will have to pay this $5,000 to the shop that does the work. And so yeah, the guy says we cannot waive the deposit, you will have to pay, and we'll just wait till they give you a new appointment. But the guy said, but what we also can do is we can give you cash. I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, it costs $17,000 to fix your car, and you owe us $5,000. So he says, if you want, we'll give you $12,000 and call it a day. But then the car will not be fixed. It's up to you. I said, really? That's pretty interesting. What do I need to do? The guy said, well, I'll just send you a one-page form. You put your license plate in, you know, the date when you bought the car, like a couple of details there, the purchase value, and you sign it, send it to me, and we'll send you a check. So, I don't know. A couple of guys at my workplace, they did this, they took the money. One guy is still thinking, and they do the same. They postpone the appointment because there were so many cars affected by this that all the shops are super occupied. So they're making a bunch of money. And the insurance executives are crying crocodile tears. And also, I'm guessing one of the reasons why they do this cash outs, is because I read online that quite often the estimated damage in reality will be higher. So let's say they told me, I mean, the shop told them that the price will be 17,000, but then they start doing this and turns out it's not 17,000, it can be 25,000, right? But it's not my problem, it's the insurance company will pay, right? But I'm still on the hook for the deductible. But again, so the insurance company probably discovered that, you know, they can actually lose much more money if they go with this. So maybe it was even them who told the shop to cancel my appointment, you know? You know, let's cancel on Captain Sergey and see what he does, you know? We are curious. Maybe he'll take the money and run. So anyway, back to the main topic of this video, the muffler. The guy is pulling the truck sideways for some reason. Or he's sliding or something, I don't know. So I'm at the Calgary muffler. Just took an Uber, or rather Lyft, to get here. So this is my baby. So let's see. They were asking me, do I want the old, oh man, look at that, that's so beautiful. You guys can see that? So no muffler, we have H-pipe over there, and yeah, so pretty much the muffler was there, where the H-pipe is now. So beautiful. Same size piping. Yeah, looks good. All right, so let's see how it sounds now. I hope it's not too loud because I left these. Right, I left the mufflers. I asked the guy, actually, funny story. I asked the guy who was doing the work. Now, you know, when I picked up my key, I said, okay, the thing you removed in the middle, is that a muffler or resonator? Because so many people online are confused. And he says, it's hard to tell. He says, to me, it's both. But he says, I think usually the muffler is the biggest part. Like what's left here, they are smaller, right? So he's saying that these are the resonators and what he removed is the muffler. Sounds good. I don't think it's very loud. It's exactly what I wanted. Now here's inside. Not loud at all. So which tells me that what they removed must have been the resonator, I think. Because if it's not this loud, like if he would removed the actual muffler, it would be crazy loud. Like, because I did this Well, actually, I never was a fan of removing mufflers because I do believe that they serve a purpose, not just muffling the sound, but they create a little bit of vacuum, you know, inside the system. I read about it. I remember reading, believe it or not, like, you know, those Baja races, like in deserts, and those guys would kill for a second, you know, to improve your time by a second, you know. And so they were trying everything. They removed mufflers, they put in mufflers, and what they discovered is actually this was like a pickup truck, like a TRX, something like that, big pickup truck. And what they discovered is that when they removed mufflers, they lost power. Okay, so the truck was making more power when the muffler was in. Just a regular, you know, like a Flowmaster. Like, I love Flowmasters, so what I might do later, I'm gonna ride like this, and then later I might replace these smaller things in the back, whatever they are, resonators, mufflers, but I want to put a Flowmaster because now I have H-pipe that should give me some, you know, old school sound, and yeah, so I'm pretty happy. So, except of course it was expensive. It should not cost $550, I don't think, but this is Canada, and this is the best store in Calgary. So these guys make it look like factory. Like, I really love that H-pipe. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see when I go on the highway on the way back, because I'm near Chinook Mall, right? And this is a great place to try and do Uber. So I'm gonna start Uber and Lyft with filters, you know, filter rides by destination, and see if anybody's going towards the airport. And this way I can, you know, at least, because I drove here 25 kilometers, now back 25 kilometers, that's probably like 7 liters in gas, you know. So if I can get back the money a little bit, so that would be cool. But yeah, so I'll start the recording again when I'm driving so that you guys can hear. I'll try to do some acceleration on the freeway and to give you an idea how it sounds inside the vehicle. So I hit some heavy traffic and I'm driving with my rear windows down because I'm only doing 20 kilometers and I can hardly hear this. Like, so my like some people were saying it's going to be crazy loud, you know, it's a rental car, you're going to piss people off. Maybe it'll be louder when, you know, it gets after like a bit of time, but for now it's beautiful. And one thing I noticed right away is that it did improve my torque, believe it or not. Like, I'm not a scientist, right, but I feel how I touch the gas pedal, you know, like, because it's a big vehicle. It was great before, but now it's definitely better. Like, I hardly touch the gas pedal to get moving, you know. That's the first impression when I started driving. So I'm gonna keep my eye on gas economy, because if the torque is better, that means that the gas economy should improve, you know. So I think it was the correct move. So I have no regrets, and I need content for YouTube anyway. So anything automotive is, I think it's a great topic for my channel, because it, you know, it mixes well with the trucking content, right? Oh man, it's gonna take 40 minutes to get to my home. So I started Uber with a filter, give me rides to my destination, and so far I have nothing. So we'll just keep driving. If they give me something, I'll stop and pick my ride up. And actually I can do an informal survey. You know, when I'm driving, if I have a passenger, I'll just ask them if they find the exhaust note like annoying in any way. But like, I don't hear it. It's silent. I think I think you can only hear it when you really step on it. You know, when you do like a full throttle, you know, pedal to the floor, then you will hear it. Like kind of like, you know, in a racing situation. But daily driving, when you're just driving in traffic, it's perfectly fine. It's also, my car became lighter, I think, because that suitcase weighed a ton, you know, and a half. So I think it was a great mod. I should have done it sooner, but I didn't have the money. So now I got the money and it's done. Everything else is great. I have no plans to change anything else because I already put in a K&N filter. So a K&N filter and improved exhaust with an H-pipe. I think these two things are, you know, perfect. Okay, this is a tunnel. The rear windows are partially open. Sounds like a race car, but you know, only, just like I said, only when you step on it. Super quiet. I love it. Just slightly, maybe you hear something, you know. No, but actually no. I was just driving in the traffic, didn't hear anything. So, but this would be great for, you know, like starts between lights, you know. Okay, now we're gonna do acceleration. I'm gonna put my foot in. I'm at a light. I'm gonna open the rear windows a little bit. Hopefully that plane passes. Yeah, remember when I did this to Challenger, when I had Challenger 6.4, and I was in Cambridge, and over there they had a couple of overpasses near my hotel. Man, that thing with 6-speed manual, and you know, I put X pipe, I put like, I think I had like Flowmaster outlaw mufflers. That thing was crazy loud, and so I would, you know, wait till I reach this overpass and just hit gas, like in third gear, hit gas really hard. You know, puts a smile on your face, you know, every time. And the same with when I had Dodge Charger after that. So I switched from Challenger to Dodge Charger for some reason. Well, because Challenger became too loud. All right, let's see, green light. Because I cannot accelerate like crazy because there's a car in front of me, right? So I was only pushing the gas like halfway. So yeah, not loud at all. So now I know for sure that my rental customers would not complain. The car became faster. I can tell you. I think I should see some improvement in gas economy, because it moves so much easier now. Okay, another light. We're doing a green left turn on Métis Trail. And I forgot to turn on my signal. Interesting. Yeah, it's quiet. Okay, I'm parked and there's a barrier in the back. You see that? So maybe now it'll be a bit louder. All the windows are down.